And you're live.
You're live. Okay, awesome. Hey guys, I poured a couple more test panels the other day, which here, let me have my and we're gonna unveil them. I'm gonna keep this short and quick today. I'm gonna talk a little bit about upcoming projects, unveiling these wall panels that we poured the other day that you got to watch on video, have us pour, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about our Kickstarter and some packages and things that we're gonna go along with that when it launches. It's probably gonna be 4 or 5 weeks. But so upcoming projects, I'm gonna be working on some animal shelters. I've been getting tons of comments from a lot of people who need animal shelters and whatnot, that live in wooded areas where there's lots of wood-eating bugs and whatnot. And basically when they put up a wood structure or a wood shed or something like that, it just doesn't last very long. And so I'm gonna on the animal shelters, I'm gonna talk a little bit about a chicken coop and a dog house, and why the physical properties of Aircrete are gonna be really just quite perfect for these shelters. And right now I want to do something real quick. We want to kind of unveil these wall panels that we poured the other day and let you see them. Now when I did the first test panel, I just let it cure for a day and a half or two before I put plastic over the top. This time we put the plastic on right when it was wet, so we'll see what happens here. But we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do some close-ups and let you see that. Look at the air pockets, babe.
Oh, wow.
Wow. These were complete test panels. And I had a mix that I really good, but the panel ended up weighing about 85 pounds. And I just thought, maybe I can keep it strong and get a little bit lighter. So I did this one really light, and I did this one medium light. And the reason I did that is because I'm multitasking here, guys. I'm gonna build some animal structures, chicken coops and dog houses, and I want to get the best mix for those applications. And so I'm doing some test batches here. Now, this one that was the lightest one, oh my gosh, Mel. I think we have to not put plastic right on top of it when it's wet, and just let it get a skin, and the next day put the plastic on for the curing, so it cures in a real moist environment. We need to let it skin over first, because as you can see, when the flashing off and the chemical reaction was happening, we had a lot of skin under here just kind of stick to the plastic, and it didn't do what I thought it would. But it's hard underneath. I mean, this stuff is less than 48 hours old, guys. So I'm gonna show you something.
Hold on, let me set the camera back up.
It's really important that I get these mixes right. I actually am gonna go with the rest of this shed with my original test panel, even though it's a little, the wind's blowing the camera a little bit, even though it's a little heavier than I wanted it to be. It's about 85 pounds. Even so, I can pick it up and stand it up by myself really easy. So I'm gonna go with it. Here's some little blocks, and you can see how aerated they are.
Hold it still for a second.
Right there. That I pulled off of me breaking up some other test mixes that I did. And then here's one that's aerated in kind of a medium capacity. And then here's some that I sawed off of a block that I made several months ago. And it has really, really tight, dense cells in it, which is kind of similar to what this panel has in it. Now, the reason why I'm doing all these different tests, doing all these different configurations, is because they're all going to be for different purposes. And so I'm going to actually show you the test blocks that I made when I made my original first test panel, and I'm gonna hit them with a hammer and bust them up a little bit and show you what that's like. But before I do that, I want to show you what they actually look like.
So Kenny says hi, and Austin says nice work, guys, and Brian says, did you have fun with Josh yesterday?
Yes, I did. Josh is awesome, and we spent some time out with Dana with ArmySurplusWarehouse.com, and we had a good old time. It was great. So, but I want to show you guys. This is I poured this the same day I poured the original test panel, and this is with the skin on it. I also poured this sample, and I scraped the skin off so that you could see what's underneath as far as, can they see that?
I don't know.
I hope so. So that you can kind of see the consistency of the bubbles in it. This is the mix that I'm gonna go with for the rest of the panels for this entire shed. I'm glad I did these. I'm not gonna put down plastic over the panel right when it's wet anymore. We're gonna let it cure out and set up a little bit and get a little bit stiff, and then put the plastic over so that it can cure in the wettest environment possible.
Mike Frederick says hi, Darwin, and hello from Florida. The Maker Show says hi. Hello, I like to make a tiny home out of air concrete like you guys have been do. What I need is a blueprint and set up the walls, and well, that is in future plans, and right now we are working on getting a Kickstarter going so that we can get Aircrete tested so that it can actually be used as a building material in homes
in the United States. And there are some plans, or excuse me, there are some things out there, and just kind of get your guys' creative juices flowing. I am going to show you some of those in a video form here coming up very soon. Now, this really aerated one that I showed you guys just a minute ago, I mean, it ended up being pretty hard after it all set up. It's not fragile, but it has really kind of unique properties in that, let me, babe, would you, here, I want to, I'm getting some water.
Do you guys have land picked out for your workshop? No, we do not have land picked out yet. We have been looking at a couple different places, haven't picked anything out yet. We plan on looking on some more, and we borrowed what did we borrow? The airplane thing.
Oh, a drone.
A drone.
And so we are going to be going and looking at some properties, and we're going to be flying a drone over them and kind of showing you guys what they are.
What is in that water?
Oh, it's just lime scale or whatever.
Okay.
But I have a little bit of water here, and I just wanted to show you guys what happens when I dip this little piece of really aerated block in there. It is crazy. It just is already sucked up on about an inch all the way around. So it absorbs the water and it holds it. I mean, look, there it's running out. The reason this is important is because for these different structures that I'm doing for animal shelters, it's very important, depending on the animal, let's say chickens, to keep them warm in the winter and to keep them cool in the summer. And happy chickens may lay more eggs. I mean, the egg production is crazy if they're kept happy. And so when we build an Aircrete facility for housing chickens, it's going to be very insulated with Aircrete. I'm probably going to do the panels in 2 different densities, where half the panel, the bottom half will be mixed with a little bit thicker density and then sprayed with kind of a waterproofing coating, and then another layer put on that's that real aerated density that would hold water. And the reason I would do this was so that in the summertime, if you have a backyard chicken coop that's light and lightweight and on some wheels, and you can move it around your backyard, and it has places where your chickens can lay eggs, you'll be able to just spray it with water or leave it under an automatic sprinkler system. And what happens when that water evaporates off, it acts kind of like a swamp cooler, and inside that building would probably be 17 to 20 degrees cooler than the ambient air temperature outside when it's really hot, keeping those chickens super cool. So that's why I'm doing all these tests with all these different types. The very first tests I tried, when I tried to aerate them, they imploded on themselves because I tried to aerate them too bad. In order to achieve a mix like this, where it's aerated that much, but it's consistent and it stays in the same shape you left it when you put it in a form, it took a little bit of doing with some different additives to get that done. And so that's why I'm doing these tests. That's why I didn't do the exact same mix. And actually, some people pointed that out. They said that mix looks different than the one you did in the first panel. And they were right, and I did it that way on purpose. And I did 2 different density of mixes as far as the cement slurry goes, and those panels, the far left one that I did the lightest, looks really similar underneath the skin as to this. So that's probably, even though it's a little bit light for a wall panel system for a shed, it's probably going to be perfect for the second layer of a chicken coop. I might even go with a little bit heavier one because it's pretty aerated as well. So we learned a lot. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
How much would regular concrete weigh in those panels?
I did the math on it, and there's 3 cubic feet in there, and a cubic foot of concrete weighs 150 pounds. So they would weigh between 450 and 500 pounds. And so even my first one that I thought was maybe a little heavy at 85, 90 pounds, that I wanted to try and reduce the weight a little, I'm gonna leave it there.
It's not that heavy.
So it's probably 1/6 the weight of normal concrete.
How well do you think it would hold up against a hurricane?
The incredible thing about this is between each panel, so there's a frame, and then you have the panels, and they're all stitched together, 6 inches on center as well, and then they're bolted to the foundation. In this case, it's not a foundation, it's just a slab. And then it has a metal fabric on both sides, which gives it a kind of a thick skin. I think it would hold up great, especially in a dome form. Yeah. So after I make these panels into triangular panels that all lock together in the form of a dome, I think we're gonna have something awesome. Awesome.
And you just got asked if you'd ever make a dome.
Oh, yeah, that's coming up here next. I'm gonna do a couple small projects so that people that wanna maybe get involved and try their hand and test their skills a little bit with a foam mate. Because I can make all the panels for a doghouse in an hour and a half. And I could probably pour them, in another couple hours easy, and you could have a doghouse that you could just stitch together,
right?
Like in a day.
And it'd
really
be very
easy.
nice and well insulated.
It would be insulated for your dog, and if we do the plans right, and if we get it Correct. So it's maybe a denser on the inside with a metal fabric, so there's lots of strength there, and then a little lighter concrete on the outside. That's the same thing with your dog. You could just spray your doghouse down. This Aircrete, the outer shell, would suck up a bunch of water, and as it evaporated off, keep your dog cool. The air inside that doghouse is going to remain really awesome. Okay,
you could even try a thin coat of stucco on the outside.
Yeah, it's going to be a similar, exactly, guys. Stucco is a non-shrink grout system, and the way they achieve the non-shrink in it is by using hydrated lime. So it's basically a mortar mix with sand and cement and hydrated lime that they put together to make a non-shrink grout that won't crack. And so I am going to aerate it a little bit and do an Aircrete version of it, but it's going to be, even though I aerate it, I'm not going to aerate it a ton. Like, obviously, when I do a slurry of like 6 gallons and I pump it up to 24 gallons with foam, I just multiplied that 6 gallons by 4 times. It's, you know, and the outside shell that's going to go over the outside fabric is going to be a little denser than that. I might double it, you know, and it is going to have the hydrated lime in it to keep it from shrinking. And I may even put some sand in it. It's gonna, I'll do some tests.
What about casting them without the metal framing?
I am gonna do some future experiments with that. There's a reason why I'm using the metal framing, guys, is because right now building codes say you have to have studs on the outside structural walls of 16 inches on center. Okay, and so I'm basically achieving that, and then I'm achieving a whole bunch more strength by putting the Aircrete in the center, and a whole bunch more strength by stitching them together the way I will with a sealant between them. Now, if you were dependent just on grout as a bonding agent to put these panels together, I would just do it without putting the skin on it at all, and then put the skin on both sides with a plaster or stucco situation afterward. But that's not what I'm after. What I'm after here is, let's keep it simple. Something that everybody can do. Everybody can build a little jig and make a sheet metal form. Everybody can pour some Aircrete in it and make some similar to pancake batter out of Portland cement and pour it in a wall and make a wall panel. And pretty much anybody can stand it up. I mean, I stand them up real easy. And so I just want to keep this DIY for people, so it's something that they can see themselves doing without a bunch of mortaring and masonry skills.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to get off topic. So we unveiled the palette. I talked a little bit about different mixes and the tests and why I'm doing them. I do want to, can you maybe get in a close-up on these samples?
I will try. Sorry, we're moving the camera, guys. Can you guys see that? I hope. I can't see. Where am I at? Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, we got 3 different weight hammers, a 5-pound sledge, a 16 ounce, and about an 8 ounce. And so, this is the one, it's fully encased. This one only has a case on the outside, similar to something that would have a frame. I did it inside of a garbage bag. So I'm just gonna bang on these. Okay, show them a close-up of this dent that 8 ounce hammer made. So, okay, leave it in there. Leave it close. I'm swinging that as hard as I can, guys. And I mean, it puts a dent in it, but it's holding together good. Here's a 5-pound sledgehammer. Cool. Here's the one I left the skin on. Okay. Go. hit that as hard as I could. I'm swinging that hammer as hard as I can, guys. You can see the skin came off and it dents it. They're indestructible, especially after I put a waterproofer on them.
Well, and if you did that with normal wallboard, your hand would probably go through.
Oh, I could punch my fist through normal sheetrock, you know?
I hope you guys were able to see that. I can't see the camera to know if I got it good or not.
And you know what? The surface layer that I peeled off this isn't as strong as this stuff. I hit them just as hard, but it sunk into this a little bit more. So I think underneath it, that 1/4 inch where the wire fabric is going to be incredibly, incredibly strong.
Awesome.
But
that is awesome.
Okay, now I want to show them a little bit of a close-up on this panel, this original one that I did, babe.
Yeah.
Just put the camera in as close and let's hope we get a good shot. Okay, here was a medium weight right here, and some of the
on that one you want me to show that
I want
one?
to show them a close-up on this, and I'm going to try and blow the skin off of it. Okay, and that was a result of us putting the plastic on and not letting it cure out with the skin on. But you can see, I mean, it's hard. Yeah, and this stuff.
Go too close with that camera.
Okay, this stuff is only about what, less than 48 hours old. So I kind of like this medium one, and I think I'm gonna try another test panel with this medium mix, because this panel would end up being about 65 pounds, maybe 70 pounds versus 85, 90 like this one, and I think it may be strong enough under that skin. Now this one, Mel?
Yeah.
This is the one I did the lightest. This panel would only weigh maybe 45 pounds after it's done, and you can see the skin coming off. See how aerated it is?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that skin would have stayed on just fine if we'd have let it cure out without putting the plastic on, because you can see the areas where it wasn't touching, where it's fine. But I think that's just a little bit too aerated. But what gives me a lot of hope is it's all consistent bubbles. The hydrated lime in the amount that I put it in the mix did its job.
Alrighty then.
And the stuff under it's hard. So, okay. Little recap.
Okay, let me get the camera set back up, guys. Sorry. Okay. With the wind with the camera.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. Sorry
Okay.
about that, guys.
So just a quick little recap. Those are the upcoming projects I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be multitasking while the shed panels are curing. I'm going to be pouring some for these doghouse and chicken coop stuff. And we're going to be moving out to dirt batch heaven and back and forth. Okay. We unveiled these test panels that were a little bit lighter weight than my original one. And I'm really, really liking the medium weight one. I really am liking that. And I may go somewhere between like a 65 pound and a 85 pound panel. So that 15 and a half or 15 pounds of Portland cement per 5 pound. Yeah, whatever. I don't have my mixes right in front of me. And then I want to talk a little bit about the Kickstarter. You guys, I kind of showed you a little bit of the physical properties of this stuff and how if it's in the right mix design and consistency, that it actually retains and holds water even out in the wind. You can see how wet that steel is. I have designed and developed and drawn up an off-grid air conditioning system that runs on a small 25-watt RV solar panel and a small solar fan. And I think it's just going to be kind of a neat, incredible thing. Amazing. That's a do-it-yourself. And I'm going to release those plans and some foam mate packages as well as a part of the Kickstarter. And this is going to be something that you can build and you can take camping, and you can put it in your tent with a solar panel and have, I mean, it's going to be cool. If you have a small shed out in the back, you can put a little air conditioner in it, and it's going to be an Aircrete solar paneled off-grid thing, which is kind of cool. If you wanted to have it on grid, you could plug in the fan to on grid as well, but it's going to be portable that way, and I think it's going to be kind of a neat, cool little starter project for people that want to get involved with these DIY Aircrete deals and having their own foam mate and building these flower beds and just everything that you can do with it. So anyways, I'm going to call it a day right now, guys.
And sorry if we didn't get to everyone's messages.
Right. I just wanted to unveil these two panels. I don't know if you saw, but I had about 10 or 12 forms already made, and I'm going to start pouring them right now. And I got some more forms over on behind the camera that are already made, and I'm going to start pouring them as well. So
all right, see you guys.
Go.